Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm doing something. This concept of video has been done before, but I've never seen someone do it with this category of products that I'm going to be talking about. And today's video is a battle of the sunscreens. So about a month ago, I would say, I ordered a Sephora favorite set and it was just sunscreen, like 13 different sunscreens. I only featured 12 in this video because one actually broke, so I had to throw it away. And I have been testing these out for a month. Each one had a dedicated 3 days to test, and 3-ish days. Some were 2, some were 3. I really loved doing this. I took notes. I filmed my first impressions on each sunscreen, so I really hope you enjoy this video. So I'm going to start by telling you all the different sunscreens in no particular order that I tried this month, and then we will get into the first impressions, and then at the end I will be ranking them. Let's get started. I also wanted to say I used the same morning skincare routine for every single sunscreen, just so I could be sure that if I broke out at all, it was not because of the skincare that I was using. I would know it was from the sunscreen, and I'm happy to report only one of these broke me out, and we will get into that one. But I want to show you the skincare that I've been using every single day before these sunscreens. I would start by using this little sample of the Origins Mega Mushroom Relief and Resilience Soothing Treatment Lotion, which is a toner, and it just calms your skin down, so any redness that you have, it really calms it down. And then alternating every other day, I would either use the Fourth Ray Beauty Radiate Vitamin C Elixir or the Ordinary Niacinamide 10% and Zinc 1% Serum. Then for eye cream, I would use the Ulla Henriksen Truth Banana Bright Eye Cream. And then for my moisturizer, I would use the Marc Jacobs Youthquake Hydrofull Retexturizing Gel Cream. And none of these products break me out. Now I'm going to tell you all the different sunscreens that have been featured this month, and then we will get into the first impressions. So we have the Supergoop Play SPF 50 Everyday Lotion with Sunflower Extract, and this has SPF 50. Coola Mineral Sunsilk Cream Sunscreen with SPF 30. The Drunk Elephant Umbra Tint Physical Daily Defense Broad Spectrum Sunscreen with SPF 30. The First Aid Beauty Weightless Liquid Mineral Sunscreen with Zinc Oxide and SPF 30. The Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen with SPF 40. The Ren Clean Skincare Clean Screen Mineral SPF 30 Mattifying Face Sunscreen. The Shiseido Ultimate Sun Protector Lotion with SPF 50+. The Dermalogica Dynamic Skin Recovery with SPF 50. Dr. Dennis Gross Dark Spot Sun Defense Sunscreen with SPF 50. The Biossance Squalane and Zinc Sheer Mineral Sunscreen with SPF 30. The Shiseido Urban Environment Oil-Free UV Protector with SPF 42. And the Lancome UV Expert Aquagel Defense 50 Sunscreen with SPF 50. Now let's get into the first impressions portion. Alright, so it is day 1 of my sunscreen battle, and today I'm going to be using the Biossance Squalane and Zinc Sheer Mineral Sunscreen. And I pulled you guys in super close. I never have the camera this close. And I'm going to show you my first impressions. All right, so I'm just gonna take about this much. So far it wasn't super liquidy, wasn't super thick, kind of seemed like a standard sunscreen formula. I'm going to rub it together. Why does it looks like purple now? It looks very purple, so that kind of gives me the feeling that it's going to leave a white cast, and it does not smell good. Alright, so that is what it looks like. Kind of feel like I have a little bit of a white cast. I look a little bit dewy, but it doesn't look terrible. It doesn't feel, it feels like I have something on my face, but it kind of just feels like a thick moisturizer sitting on top of my face. guys. So that is the Biossance Squalane and Zinc Sheer Mineral Sunscreen. Day 2 of the sunscreen battles, and today's sunscreen is the Shiseido Urban Environment Oil-Free UV Protectant. This has an SPF of 42, which I think is really funny. It's such a specific SPF, which, I mean, maybe there are people out there who need an SPF of 42. I have actually tried this sunscreen before, but it has been a few months since I've used it. So I know that it is a super duper liquidy sunscreen. It's super liquidy. It's like water. I'm going to actually just like kind of do it like this. Super liquidy, literally water. And when you start to blend it out, it smells like farts. Like literal human farts. With this one, I have the slightest bit of a white cast. Like, you can kind of see that my face is a little lighter than the rest of my body right now. It's not super moisturizing. My face feels super smooth and looks pretty matte. Like, I have a tiny bit of a glow. That's just because I have like light directly on me, but it feels like, to the touch, it feels matte, and it looks pretty matte too. That is the Shiseido Urban Environment Oil-Free UV Protector with SPF 42. It is day 3 of the sunscreen. Day 3? I think so. Day 3 of the sunscreen battles, and today we are testing out the Dr. Dennis Gross Dark Spot Sun Defense Sunscreen SPF 50. So, let's jump right in. Looks like this. Looks like a sunscreen. Oh. Oh. This one smells a little bit like fish. So that's fun. Definitely getting a white cast already. Do not like the smell. This one doesn't make me look super dewy, but it's a little sticky, like a tiny bit tacky to the touch. Did give me a bit of a white cast. I don't really have a lot to say about this one. It kind of just seems like an average sunscreen. So yeah, this is the Dr. Dennis Gross Dark Spot Sun Defense Sunscreen Broad Spectrum SPF 50. Sunscreen battle day 4, I want to say. I don't know. I've lost all track of time. So today's sunscreen is the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen with SPF 40. So let's just hop right in. Oh, it's like clear. Ah, I get the name, Unseen Sunscreen. It's clear but with like a great yellow tint to it. Oh, it feels like a silicone primer. Oh, I hate that feeling. Ah, I finally have a sunscreen that smells like a sunscreen, but also kind of smells like chlorine. So that's really good to be putting on my face, but you know how it be. It is, honestly, you could use this as a primer because it's not adding a glow to my skin. If anything, it's mattifying it. And honestly, I think I prefer a sunscreen to add some glow, but I also like a sunscreen to smell like a sunscreen because I love the smell of your typical sunscreen. And this is the first one that has smelled like a sunscreen. As you can see, my skin looks exactly the same, hence the name Unseen Sunscreen. But it is honestly mattifying, it smells like a sunscreen, it feels pretty nice on my skin. Like, my skin feels like exactly how it did before. So I think I really like this one. Even though the texture, like as you're applying it, feels awful. Like, I hate that feeling of like a silicone primer, but I kind of enjoy this one. So that is the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen with SPF 40. Hey guys, sunscreen battle day 5. It's super overcast today and a little bit cold. It's not snowing yet, which is always a possibility. But let's test the sunscreen, because even though it is dark and gloomy today, the sun still exists, which means we can still be exposed to harmful UV rays. Okay, so today's sunscreen is the Drunk Elephant Umbra Tint Physical Daily Sunscreen with SPF 30. And this one doesn't have a twist off lid, you just, and the little hole opens up. That's what he said. Oh, it is tinted. Was not expecting it to be tinted. It's a tinted sunscreen, so good. Oh, it's like very like sticky. It has no scent. It looks so glowy. This is beautiful. Even though it is a tinted sunscreen, it does not give any coverage, but I am so glowy. I don't know if you can tell because the lighting's bad, but this is the glowiest sunscreen I've ever used in my life. But it's beautiful. It is sticky, like really sticky. I definitely feel like I have something on my skin, but it's not like annoying. It kind of just feels like a really thick moisturizer. So that is the Drunk Elephant Umbra Tint Physical Daily Defense SPF 30. Today's sunscreen is the Lancome UV Expert Aquagel Defense 50 Sunscreen SPF 50, and the name of this makes me feel like it's going to be amazing. It says that it is an all-day primer and moisturizer, so let's dive in. Okay, whoa. So I was not expecting it to be white. I was expecting it to be clear because like it says aquagel, you know. It's super liquidy. Okay, kind of like a jelly formula. Oh, it smells like so many chemicals and bug spray. So that blended into my skin insanely fast, but I actually can't tell if it's fragranced or if it just smells like chemicals. To me, when I first smelled it, it smelled like bug spray. So that's kind of weird, but it is pretty glowy, and I did expect it to be clear because it says aquagel. I don't know. It was very different from what I expected it to be, but it feels good on the skin. It does feel like it's just a moisturizer. That is the Lancome UV Expert Aquagel Defense 50 Sunscreen All Day Primer and Moisturizer with SPF 50. It is day 6, I think, of the sunscreen battles, and today's sunscreen is the Ren Clean Skincare Clean Screen Mineral SPF 30 Mattifying Face Sunscreen. This is SPF 30, as it said in the title. And I think the packaging on this is so cute. The green, what am I on today? Yellow. This is yellow. This seems very thick compared to everything else that I've tried. Yeah, it's like thick. And this is so much. Oh my gosh, why did I get so much? It smells like pine sol, and I feel like it's really hard to blend, which is odd. Out of all the sunscreens I've tried so far, I think this one is the most uncomfortable. It's so thick and it feels so extremely like thick. I almost said thicky. Thick and sticky to the touch, and it was like hard to blend out, and it's just like uncomfortable. It did leave my skin pretty matte, which I kind of like when sunscreens make me a little bit more glowy. So yeah, this is not my favorite. That is the Ren Clean Skincare Clean Screen Mineral SPF 30 Mattifying Face Sunscreen. Today's sunscreen is the Shiseido Ultimate Sun Protector Lotion Synchro Shield Wet Force X Heat Force. This is the longest name in the world. SPF 50. It's a face and body sunscreen. Oh, this one is different. In the other Shiseido sunscreen, it's so liquidy, it's literally water. Oh, I shook it and it just clear liquid flew out. So let's like, the liquid was very oily, so. That is interesting. An interesting color. Is this meant for your face? For face and body? Okay, I just needed to see that before I, you know, did it. Oh, so this one smells like hairspray and it is super oily. So this is the weirdest texture I've ever felt in a sunscreen. So on my face, it feels like I just applied a face oil. It feels like a weird oil silicone primer hybrid. Like, you know how silicone primers, they feel a little bit oily, but this one feels like a silicone primer but more oily, and it's just very strange. But my skin looks pretty glowy. It just feels like slippy and oily, and I'm actually headed outside right now to do homework, so we will see how this holds up. I don't dislike it. I think it's actually pretty nice. That is the Shiseido Ultimate Sun Protector Lotion SPF 50 for the face and body. Today's sunscreen is the First Aid Beauty Weightless Liquid Mineral Sunscreen with zinc oxide. It has SPF 30 and it is broad spectrum. Oh, it already looks like it's tinted. I took the cap off. Let me give it a good shake. Oh, this is so dark. Okay. It smells like mildew. It is a tinted sunscreen, but the tint doesn't really show up on your face. I look really glowy and healthy, and the texture of it is very smooth. It doesn't feel like a silicone based primer. It doesn't feel like an oil, but it is very smooth and it feels pretty moisturizing, and it makes my face feel really smooth too. It does smell like mildew, which is not a great smell and not very reassuring in a sunscreen for it to smell like mildew, but I think it's nice. Like, I like the feeling of it on my skin, and it feels like makeup is going to apply really well on top of it. So that is the First Aid Beauty Weightless Liquid Mineral Sunscreen with zinc oxide and SPF 30. Today's sunscreen is the Coola Mineral Sun Silk Cream Sunscreen with SPF 30 in it. I've been super excited to try this one because I'm pretty sure Coola is an Australian brand, and Australians know their sunscreen. They kind of have to. Yeah. Oh. Feels like a generic sunscreen. So this one definitely smells like mildew as well. It smells really bad. It doesn't give me that much glow. My face looks pretty matte. It's really sticky too, which is interesting. That is the Coola Mineral Sun Silk Cream Sunscreen with SPF 30. So today's sunscreen is the Supergoop Play SPF 50 Everyday Lotion with Sunflower Extract, and I'm so excited for this one because I've heard that sunflower extract is really, really great. The texture seems like a normal sunscreen. Ooh, it smells like sunscreen too. I love the smell of sunscreen. I know I've said that so many times, but it smells like, okay, it smells like sunscreen with some citrus in it, which is such a delicious smell. It is pretty glowy. It felt like pretty typical sunscreen going on. My skin is pretty tacky. I love the smell. It really does smell like your typical sunscreen, but with like some lemon in it. It's a really good smell. I actually quite enjoy this. It didn't leave a white cast. It's just a pretty typical sunscreen. So that is the Supergoop Play SPF 50 Everyday Lotion with Sunflower Extract. The final sunscreen in the sunscreen battles is the Dermalogica Dynamic Skin Recovery Broad Spectrum Sunscreen with SPF 50. Oh, but it blends out and it feels very moisturizing and it looks very glowy. Like, I'm glowing, which I do enjoy in a sunscreen. It smells like tea tree oil a little bit, and it's cooling. Like, my face is like tingling a little bit. Not in a bad way though. It just feels like I'm like have a cooling breeze on my face. It's really nice. I look super glowy. My skin is slightly tacky, but it feels really moisturized. There's something in it, like tea tree oil, something, because it smells like pepperminty, tea tree, and it feels really cooling on your face, like as you're applying it. So I really, really like this one. That was the Dermalogica Dynamic Skin Recovery Sunscreen, Broad Spectrum SPF 50. Now we are going to rank all 12 of these sunscreens. So I'm going to start at the one that I thought was the worst and work my way to my favorite sunscreen. So starting at number 12, we have the Ren Clean Skincare Clean Screen Mineral SPF 30 Mattifying Face Sunscreen. Now, this sunscreen was the thickest sunscreen I have ever tried in my life, and I'm sure that is better for protecting your skin, but I don't want to feel my sunscreen on my face after I put it on. Like, I want it to put it on and then it sinks in, and then I don't have to think about the fact that I have a sunscreen sitting on my face for the rest of the day. You do not need a lot. I made the mistake in my first impressions. I took so much on my hand and I used like 2% of it. It definitely has a white cast, and to me it smelled like pine sol, and overall it was just very uncomfortable and like sticky and thick, and I did not like it. And one thing that you just saw throughout my first impressions is that I liked a sunscreen to give me a little bit more of a glow, and this one did not. This one was definitely very mattifying. Number 11, we have the Kula Mineral Sun Silk Cream Sunscreen. First of all, I want to say that is the hardest name to say ever. That is so difficult to say. This one has a white cast and it smells like mildew, which I did not like, and it was matte and sticky, and I just wasn't a fan of it, really. I rated this one a 4 out of 10. Oh, by the way, the Ren was a 2 out of 10. I rated all of these too. So I rated this one a 4 out of 10, was not a fan of it. The smell just really got me. You will see throughout this that if a sunscreen did not smell good, it got rated lower, because I feel like I'm very sensitive to smell, and if it smells gross, then I don't like it. At number 10, coming in with a 5 out of 10, we have the Shiseido Urban Environment Oil-Free UV Protector with SPF 42. First of all, I think it is so funny that this has a sun protection factor of 42. Why is it so specific? I have actually tried this before, and it is so liquidy. It is literally like water. I have to like pour it into the palm of my hand just so it doesn't go everywhere. It definitely has a white cast, but this smells like farts, like straight up fresh farts, and it's not moisturizing. It just feels really matte on the skin, and I just am not a huge fan of this, mainly because of the smell. It smells awful. Number 9, with a 6 out of 10, we have the First Day Beauty Weightless Liquid Mineral Sunscreen with Zinc Oxide in SPF 30. This is a tinted sunscreen, and I didn't hate this. I thought it was pretty nice, but I did rate it lower than other ones because it smells like mildew, and I cannot. But it is tinted. It's pretty dark. It doesn't have like actual coverage to it, and it feels very smooth on the face. Like when you apply it, like your skin, it feels super smooth, and it is very moisturizing, but oh my gosh, I could not get over that smell. At number 8, we have the Lancome UV Expert Aquagel Defense 50 Sunscreen and SPF 50. And this one was very liquidy and very gel-like, which makes sense because it is called Aquagel, and it smelled like bug spray to me on like the first whiff that I got, but then as I smelled it more, I was like, no, I think it just is fragranced, which was kind of weird to have a fragrant sunscreen, but it blended super fast. Like I felt like I was just like done, my whole face done, and it was very glowy, which I did enjoy. Coming in at number 7, I'm a little surprised that I ended up rating this one higher than the Lancome one, but this is, again, had a 6 out of 10, and it is the Dr. Dennis Gross Dark Spot Sun Defense Sunscreen with SPF 50. This was a very average sunscreen to me, but I think I like that about it. It did have a white cast, and to me it low-key smelled like fish, but it wasn't like a lot. And it was matte, but not like completely flat matte, and it was a little bit sticky. It was just super average. I think if I was just like, I just need a sunscreen, this is one that I would definitely reach for. And what I like about this is that it is a full size in an entire Sephora favorite set of samples, so that is really cool. Plus Dr. Dennis Gross is pretty expensive, so I'm really happy that I got to get a full size of this in this set to try it out. At spot number 6 with a 7 out of 10, we have the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen with SPF 40. This is clear and it feels like a silicone primer. It smells like a sunscreen, but also a little bit like chlorine. And it is mattifying, but it was so smooth. It made my skin feel super smooth. It could honestly be a primer, and it didn't have a white cast, so I actually really enjoyed this one. Coming in at spot number 5 with a 7 out of 10, we have the Biossance Squalane and Zinc Sheer Mineral Sunscreen with SPF 30. This is the very first one that I tried, and I actually really liked it. It was very creamy and it had a weird slightly purple tint, but once I wore it a little bit, it definitely faded away. It just looked like my skin. It was not greasy feeling, it was moisturizing, and it was good. I really liked it. It was pretty glowy too. Then at spot number 4, we have the Supergoop Play Everyday Lotion with Sunflower Extract and SPF 50. So this one had just a pretty normal average texture, and it smelled so good. It smelled like sunscreen and lemon. It was very fresh. It didn't leave a white cast. It was super glowy, and after applying it to the skin, it just felt like a really average sunscreen. This Dr. Dennis Gross one is the most average sunscreen ever, so it wasn't like as average as this. It was like a little bit more, but it was still pretty average. Coming in at number 3, we have the Shiseido Ultimate Sun Protector Lotion with SPF 50 plus, and this one you have to shake before you use it, or else you'll just get like a pile of oil in your hand. It has a very strange color and texture. It's like, I don't even know how to describe it, and it kind of smells like hairspray, but it is very oily, which I liked because it meant that it made me so glowy. It was just really good. I just really enjoyed it. And it didn't leave a white cast. It felt like such a good sunscreen. Coming in at spot number 2 with a 9 out of 10, we have the Dermalogica Dynamic Skin Recovery with SPF 50, and this is the one that I actually used today, and this one smells so good. It smells like tea tree oil, and it's so glowy. The glow has faded a little bit now, and it looks a little bit more natural, but when I first applied it, I was glowing. And it just feels like a moisturizer. It's slightly tacky, but what really got me about this one is that as I was applying it, it was so cooling. It felt so good to just like sit here and rub it in, and I feel like this would be really good if you maybe got a little bit of a sunburn, your face is feeling a little warm, and then you apply this the next day. That would feel so good. And then coming in at the number 1 spot, my favorite sunscreen, the one that I am going to repurchase the full size of 100% after I finish up using all of these little samples, of course. And even though it kills me because I know it's going to be so expensive, I don't care. It is so good. I rated it a 10 out of 10. This is the Drunk Elephant Umber Tint Physical Daily Defense Broad Spectrum Sunscreen with SPF 30. This was so good. I want to put this on my face all day, every day, for the rest of my life. It is a tinted sunscreen, but it doesn't give you like coverage, and it is very sticky. Like you can do this and like there's like strings, you know, and it doesn't smell like anything, but it is so glowy. It made me feel so glowy, and I feel like it would look so beautiful under a skin tint, and it didn't give me a white cast, and everything about this sunscreen is just what I want in a sunscreen and what I want to put all over my face all the time. So this is 100% my favorite sunscreen from all of these that I tried. So that is it for the sunscreen battles. I loved filming this. It took a really long time to film. Like, I've literally been working on this for a month now, but I think it was so worth it. I loved getting to try out all these different sunscreens. Sunscreen is something that I am so passionate about. It is the most important step in your skincare routine. It is so important to protect your skin from harmful UV rays, and even on the cloudiest of days in the middle of winter, the sun still exists and it can still harm you with its UV rays. So please, 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 if you don't take anything else away from this video, take this away. Wear sunscreen every day. Every day. The sun, as beautiful as she is, as much as she gives us, she is very harmful to our skin. Please, 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 I am begging you, wear your sunscreen. Please. So that is it for this video. Sorry for that weird sunscreen rant I just went into, but it is truly so important to wear sunscreen. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I had so much fun filming this, and I know I'm gonna have so much fun editing it for you guys. And yeah, that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you are all staying safe and staying healthy and wearing your sunscreen every day. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to like this video before you go, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye.